And then we want our Bay Bridge to Blawayo to join in all the way to Victoria Falls. But now what you're talking about, I think it's part of Chirundu Harare, but then there's a corridor that we've already created. We've done a feasibility study. It's very true. It's not even cutting the journey through Harare by 200. It's almost 500 kilometers. And now it's a whole tourism corridor from I'm sure vanoziva kuti Batoka and all the way to Binga, from Mashonaland West all the way to Binga. Feasibility study is done and all, but the competition that is there for one port is what is holding us up. But at least feasibility study is there. And again, if you go into that corridor, that's where somehow closely you find what do we call this one? The tourism. Our Bume Hills, it's along that, yeah. Manapus is along that, but who's owning those places? Saka zvanakugwagwa ndamboti zvinhu haunyanyotarisa karaogara. Yeah, muchisango mako tsve lodge yako vane mari vari kuenda nemahelicopter. Vari kutoenda vachitoita mari. Those are the high-end lodges. Yeah, but again the road is coming, so to speak. Safari campfire. Let me let you know that campfire is not by donation. Now, campfire, according to us as a government, I was a deputy minister in the Ministry of Environment and Tourism then, and I know very well much about campfire. Campfire is not really by donation, but it's a policy that when people come to our country hunting, while society is stopping us about hunting, we let people hunt. You know, they don't even want us to kill our elephants, but they don't own any one elephant in their countries. But anyway, we've now learned that our elephants are beautiful and people should live with elephants and elephants live with people. This is why you see our animals now, they roam in Victoria Falls. So unotiona ichidarika ichinda tototi samanyanga pfuura yakakamira here. Voita zvavanoita wenda. Vana gudo vana hippopotamus and what? That's human-wildlife conflict that you are addressing. But this money called campfire is money that is paid by the hunters. When you come to hunt, those trophies and whatever, they pay. And the people who own conservations in our country, they have to put that money to social corporate responsibility. That's what we call campfire. But somehow, in other countries, when we define it the way they define it, we are a country that over 20 years been surviving on our own. So we don't believe in donations quickly. Before we think, so we analyze. When people want to donate money for wildlife, for human-wildlife conflict, we want to analyze it because the beneficiary of the campfire is communities. So now people who fight us politically, they come back and wonder. And we do it because we have experience with that. I was a deputy minister. They come, we want to donate for human-wildlife conflict. Because they are the same countries that agree with CITES about us not killing or selling our animals. Animals are subdivided. That these ones you can sell this, you can't sell this. And those that can make you make money when you sell them are those that they say you can't sell. Every year they multiply and they crowd us. But they tell you if you kill Nzo, in some places, and they're destroying they are destroying homes, they are killing people. Now the rate is getting lower and lower because we are fighting in another way for human-wildlife conflict. But those are the same people who say Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia want to give you money for human-wildlife conflict. So if you come with a donation coming from America, coming from here, unfortunately, Ngatiudzane chokwadi. But by the virtue that you are here, yeah, exactly. So because some people come through you, yeah, some people come through you without you even knowing. Utori innocent. Unozokuona cha kubata kumba kuna wakomani. Kuzadi akuzizima mchiti yapo. But they come to you, so that's what they do. They come so innocent. I'm telling you from experience. So in Tati, Maria came by it's as simple as that. If I'm now Vimamu to do payment, Sakatrida, as to the Ongorora. Those Sakamaganzi, it takes 9 months. 9 months, Kuongorora, office Yavakuru repairs as power. Now Kumana Muka Omsingasi. But I Kuongorora, Maria Cachineri. Sakagona, what is the Aina? Kunamuvengi Mantu, say what? Atitoli? Because involve our communities. There are some people who say, Takawana Mario donation, but government did kuramba. Tino to ramba. Because you want to know we also work Shawako, Pamsha Paki, we poker say about Padum. Ungo to do the work. Also, Mungo wrote another doctor of Katwako up. Because we want our people to be as great and to continue with our self-reliance as it is. Somehow it's a political issue that is hidden. So be careful. Be very careful and very analytical about it. So presentation, people are eating net devolution yakaiswa president chikoro chiri kuvaka brick by brick, stone upon stone asi zviri kutovakwa nemaclinic ari kutovakwa. But some people who come to you as diaspora vamwe vatoziziva tiri muno izvezvi vototanga kutoti hatine mari yacho achida kukupa toiongorora. So there are security issues around those donations, in short. But otherwise, if you're bringing hunters from Australia, they're doing hunting activities, and then because mtemo wedu not a hunting activity, you need to pay a certain percentage. That's the campfire money, which the local government, actually rural district councils, because Kumamisha, most of them, they run together with the communities. So, my donation, toda mari dzekuti mukauya mukainvesta mukaweta lose yenyu tine address asi dzidzonogara mumusha mavanhu mavaka chikoro muziva kuti tisi takaruvakira chikoro government yenyu haigoni heyo mandu nekuseri kwedu. So we are very careful about that. We are very, very careful about that because it's defined very clear how campfire money works and how it's generated into our mainstream. Thank you.
Thank you. I just got a question from online. Oti Kuzurunga asked, my question is directed at the Reserve Bank representative. It is very hard to invest in Zimbabwe. Some real estate companies are charging 3% on top of the cost of property to cover bank charges when you send money electronically. They prefer cash. I have had issues with two real estate companies in particular. She actually named the companies, but I won't do that. They were asking for 3% on top of the sale price. That's a question from Otikuzurunga. I think it's more of clarity that she's seeking here.
Thank you, Kuzurunga. So, the issue of bank charges, the issue of commission. In Zimbabwe, we have got a real estate association. So these are issues which they also address in terms of unnecessary charges which frustrate foreign investors. She also talked of cash to say they're now preferring to bring in cash as investment. So when you bring in cash as investment, you need to declare it as Zimra. There's a Zimra Form 47 that you have to declare that cash to say, I've brought in cash for investment. We accept as long as it's declared, because we don't want cash that we cannot trace where it is coming from, because it can be linked to money laundering. So that's the reason why you have to declare that cash on Form 47. So for that specific transaction of yours, I think she can get in touch with us so that we can address it with the specific real estate and find out from the council, real estate council, whether that it's appropriate for them to be charged 3%. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. I just want to keep encouraging people online to please send through your questions. Mr. Mashikeza, can we get 3 questions at least? And then we just come back and try to answer those just because of time. Emma?
Sorry, maybe to just add on to the question and to ask the director to elaborate. I'm sure what other people are affected by is that 3% again plus bank charges. Could be that. Could be that. It's a tough one. In Melbourne, it was a question that was asked, and people just want to understand. As you rightly said, and as Tafazo rightly said, that your money comes through the banking or the financial channels, then it means everything is above board. But the challenges are, it's either you send through the bank. In fact, she said, if I'm not mistaken, they prefer cash, which is very difficult for somebody who's here to pay in cash back home. And then if they are using the banking system, they have a 3% charge and bank charges. 3% plus bank charges. We really need to address that, because such issues, we must take them back home to their minister, to the Minister of Finance, and to the team of Reserve Bank. If they have to revisit that, they have to revisit that. So yes, a question is a question, but we need to and maybe remember, we are not here to just tell you what we are doing, but we also want to know so can't it be a situation whereby if somebody wants to buy property back home, or they are even investing, and we know for sure that the economy is it's a cash economy. Because we cannot put them bank so to it. Saka kanone mota unayo kanosna uturna. Kanone ipo unayo kanosna uchi hauna. Do some kind. But how do we go and come up with resolutions and solutions to address such things? Because vanavare kuno isutu kuti uisai mari kumba, tenga idzimba, ita investment kumba. Kana asvika kuya kwaruda kunotenga chitoro kaichi, toti chitoro aisimba. Business kai. Uya muridzi wechitoro kana kuti muridzi westand ari kuti paroda kuvaka lodge, paroda kuvaka guest house, ari kuti ndoda cash. Or else mukawisa mari nenzira kwayo yamati vawise nayo, utanga uchargewa 3%. Kuri munochaja 3% sei kwanzi kuti ndizo withdraw cash yangu kubank. Chitsotsi chocho chakamira sei choda kugadziriswa. Ipapo because ndatochajwa uyu adi kungochajwa pamari yandichaji. Asipo because akati property iri kuita, for crying out loud, akati stand iri kuita 300,000 Mr. Chinam. Stand yanoda unesa lodge yanzi noita 150,000. Ndiyo yoshe 150,000. Yeah. Kwete kubvunza uyu mutengi kuti chisa ne 3% yekuzona withdraw. Amuoni kuti chikuru kuchene maiji. Iwe chargewawo 3% nekuti uyatochargewa kunopaita transfer kuisa kumusha nebhengi rake uriri kuno. Saka it's an issue inoda kuti exactly munhu atenga property unozoona pane imwe cost 30,000, imwe cost 18,000, imwe zvicost ndezve munhu otoura moyo. Ndiyo vanonoudza vamwe kuti kutenga property kumusha kwakaoma, zvakaoma motoshinga. Akutsanangurira vamwe kuti pane ka 3%, ozotouya kutoti pane bank charge, the actual bank charge yetransfer kana kuti yekeshi. Ipapo panoda kuongororwa mari uye kumusha. Director, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Abraham. I want to start by thanking the Minister for speaking the language that we've been waiting for. As the business community in Australia, we've been waiting for that reassurance. My 2 quick questions is to do with the dual citizenship. I think if you look at everyone here, we are worried because we want to remain Zimbabweans, but we also miss out on the benefits of becoming, we also want to become Australians. Can you clarify the issue of dual citizenship? Because whilst it's not directly related with what we are talking about, it does affect from an investment point of view. We know that people are worried about dual citizenship and the legalities around that. Then the second question is about the protection of the formal sector. We are seeing companies like OK, Zimbabwe. We're seeing companies like Ivy's and Sari, big companies. They're struggling and restructuring. Are there any measures in the economy to protect formal investment? Because if we are going to come in with formal money or formal investment, we want to be assured that our capital is protected.
Good evening. My name is Shonga, and I would like to thank the Honourable Minister and the delegation for coming out and affording us this time to communicate and interact. My question is towards Dr. Chitauro. What financing options are available for foreign investors through local banks, specifically foreign-owned businesses eligible to access commercial loans and investment finance on terms comparable to those available to local businesses? Are there separate lending criteria or interest rate structures for foreign investors? And lastly, are there any government-supported lending programs or incentives designed to encourage foreign investment?
We'll get those answered, then I'll move to the back. Okay, thank you. So where should I start?
Thank you. Question on financing options available at commercial banks. I wish I was working at a commercial bank and start selling my products. As you have mentioned, that you want to establish any financial or finance options from commercial banks. It really depends the form of investment you are making in Zimbabwe. For instance, if you're a foreign investor and you have established a company in Zimbabwe, you are allowed to borrow from local banks. I wouldn't know exactly whether they discriminate between a foreigner and a foreign-owned company or a locally owned company. But to them, it's a private commercial business decision. It's not a national policy to say you have to favor foreigners or you have to favor domestic companies. That is a decision of the commercial bank. Are there any government support programs to ensure that a foreign investor has access to finance? As I've said, if you set up a company in Zimbabwe as a foreign investor, you can borrow from what we call TFF, that's Targeted Finance Facility. This is a facility for productive sector. For instance, you've been in processing agricultural products, you are in the manufacturing sector, and then you want to borrow that money. You go to your bank then comes to the central bank and borrow money for working capital. So I would say, yes, there are those facilities, but you need to drill down and say, let me engage a bank and get the necessary details. What I can perhaps do for you is to just give you contacts or details of the banks so that you can then engage the banks and get what you want. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. I'll just add more to what he said. There's no discrimination, absolutely. Zimbabwe is open for business. If anyone comes to invest in our country, that the banks actually can borrow to anyone according to their statutes, of course. So it does not say because you're a foreigner, you are preferred, or because you're Zimbabwean, you are preferred. They have their terms of conditions. They apply. Terms and conditions, they apply according to any bank. But the foreign policy is Zimbabwe is open for business. It's open to anyone. So if you are an established, I'm sure could it be Mr. Chinamo Tafazwa who displayed how you open the account, you are registered with ZIDA and all that. Being registered with ZIDA, as he said, protects you. It protects you. If anyone starts to say language that is unusual or suspicious, you go back to ZIDA or go back. In our case, you come back to us as the Minister of Tourism. We protect you because you'll be coming to grow our sector. So there's no discrimination unless otherwise. Problem when people try to do certain things back home, if they fail because on the terms and conditions, they come and lie. They come and lie, hey, but they are opening accounts and borrowing Americans and Chinese, but not Isus Zimbabweans. Team demo no apply. Hello. Terms and conditions apply. Number 2, the dual citizen issue. Our constitution allows dual citizenship. It does. Ngozi ndeyekuti kana wati wakuda kuita mu-Australian ukauya kumusha wakabata kuti we don't even know any Australian passports pano. Taura chokwadi pamberi pamwari hatisivi totomaziva kana mauya kumusha. When you come home, is it a blue passport? Yeah, my sister and the family avavanazo mablue passport avo ndo avanoda kutindisa stereke hatisivi kuti because vatoti taakuita zvekupi zvekuno here kana kuti vabvuma kuti vanoda 2 handiti inobvumiwa ka ndo chokwadi naye mai machona and then kana woda kunoita business wakuda kunoratidzira futi kuti ndiri mu-Australian futi otherwise vaya vanotanga kutema nemutemo wekuti uri kushandisa Australian. Yeah. Because they are even these people that we're talking about that Zimbabwe is open for business, you're coming from China, you're coming from New Zealand, America, or Britain, or wherever that you're coming from. It applies. Those are terms and conditions, regulations apply. If it is a foreigner, it's not just free that they come and open the businesses. No, there are statutes to that. So if you ukatry the passport yako, your passport from Australia, terms and conditions about a foreigner applies to you, iwe mwana wefu. Saka ndokoti ndasvika kakuya asati sindazvitaura ndika. Asi ndasvika kuya ndokubata passport yangu yekuZimbabwe. Hapana paunobvunzwa kuti iwe, because we do not have records. We don't even, to be honest, we don't even look at that who is being a citizenship or ask you why do you want to be in citizenship of Australia. But you go to the embassy, you apply kuna ambassador vanokudza mutemo yacho, and then no one asks you why you want to be that. It benefits you somehow, definitely, but that's your choice. So when you come back home, munongofamba tikangona kutaura shona ndebele tonga mwana wokumusha. Yeah. Tochiti tichita business wakubudza passport yeku Australia ashe mutemo ino apply. Mitemo ino apply. Rules will apply on you. And if it is about probably maybe you'd have borrowed here at so whether maybe same citizenship, we don't know, maybe it links or there's a link there, but you know that rules and regulations will apply if I showcase as an Australian or as a British. Asuka kunoita business seni Barbara Rwodzi ni passport yako yekumsha hiyo hiya futi ndokubvunzwa ID ka pana sina chitupera kana uchizoita business kumsha, they don't ask for a passport, they ask you for enough for a passport. Iwe shanza chitupa chako chokumanzi 7777 nga zvapera wotoenda, but kana unoenda kumutemo yavava veku RBZ nevekuva kwamana kufinance vaya ndizoti vaende vanga vari pano nemusikana vari kukona ndove kuministry of finance. Kana uenda zvavari kutaura ivo is for you to get back your money, zvataurwa naRBZ, when you invest back home, for you to get back your money ndokunge wauya nemari yako nemusystem. Hatidi vanhu vanozotanga kuchema ndakauya kuzoinvesta mari yakawanda mufunge asi havachadi kunipa mari yangu. Tonotarisa kuti makainvestira nekupi mainini, toona makauya nemari yemusutkezi. Yemusutkezi haidzoki, inonetsa nekuti makaita kazvekuseni. Yeah. So asi ndongova muZimbabwe president akatombodi kutombozvidza vatobvunzawo zvavo kungoti vana vangu vanoda zvekuva madhabho tokoti akuda kuti ikoko vagare zvakadiwo zvakanaka. Asi kana ndodzokera kumusha handiri mwana weikokozve ndotoita zveikoko kuti ndiwanewo mabenefits anovana vavo. So be careful ipapa kuti apapa zvakamira sei. Where do you choose to be in Australia? Kutombonzi jua wanaka. So it means you use it as it when it suits you and to your advantage. But when you come back home, we advise that use your. And even muchipinda pa immigration, isuska we always talk about. So my Easter, my Christmas, we come to the airport and we know time in here nowhere. Tikugamchire zvine mufaro mupinde totoudza kuti musavhirika varungu vedu vanakomana namai guru varungu matumbu tatomona kuti avamirira woona mumwe munhu ari delayed ndadhileyiwa kuno uyai kuno komanizve zvanetsa chii vari kuti zvakati nekuti pasipoti inoda kubhadharwa muchipinda munyika asi ukangova pasipoti yako yekuzimbabwe zonke isu tokuverenga kudomestic tourist auya zvake kuzodi kuzofara kumusha kwake asi mukasumudza iyoyo pane kachigwere kekungoda kungoti ndane passport. Even us isusu the diplomats pane paine disadvantage passport. In fact, half the time, Your Excellency, red passport yedu yakanzi diploma inonakidza wakaibata ka vamwe vachibvunza kuti akwemene passport red sei kuti ai diplomat tichivhairana toga muno handei kubhodha reAustralia. I was the last to come in. Just on Friday, I was the last. Everyone else, including my aides, they were out. Vakati kamunhu kaminista kechokwadera. Follow me. Ndobva kunoiswa muchirumu. Ndombomira iwe ndikati kudava kuona ndakapfeka kepega indivhisi kutoti vacho scrutinize. But diplomatic passport haiwani visa is easy as the ordinary passport. When we take our visas for Dubai, the ordinary passport takes 1 to 2 days. My passport takes 2 full weeks. It is what it is. Yeah. Saka kana ndichida kungototi zvangu ndingoita zvondoita ndoshandisa chegreen chena. Ndofamba zvakadii? Zvakanaka. Kwete kuti vanoremekedzwa vasvika vadii. Pavanoona chipassport chered kune madisadvantage acho. God doesn't give you everything. It's good to be diplomatic, to be called the honorable and what, but Garibas we have to minister disadvantages. So you should know pros and cons and when to use the citizenship and when it's really, really good for you. Otherwise, it's good to remain Zimbabwean as you come to invest in our country. Probably if you are investing in another country, there's an advantage. But Ngori Zimbabwean, chitupa. Kumabhengi kongonzi tipe zvitupa kuarabhisi tikonzi tipe zvitupa kwose zvitupa hakuna kunonzi passport ukaona kubvunzwa passport uri mune imwe nyika yeah. Saka ukauiona iyo iya yeblue mavavaenzi tokutreatai accordingly. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My question is around upskilling and youth empowerment. I come from an organization called the Rwodzi Impact Hub, which is a culturally attuned mentorship program aimed at empowering the next generation of African leaders. Now, today I brought one of our strategic partners from TAFE Queensland, one of the largest vocational centers, vocational training centers here in Australia. And we just wanted to know if there are any areas of collaboration with the government of Zimbabwe, particularly in your ministry as well, Honorable Minister Barbara Rwodzi, if there are any areas of collaboration to do with youth empowerment and upskilling. Thank you.
My question is for the gentleman from the Reserve Bank. Just in terms of the capital markets, I was wondering, what are you doing from a policy perspective to encourage more cash flow, I guess, into the capital markets? Because we struggle to get banks lending to us. And then the last one is for Minister Rwodzi to say, for the small businesses, the small businesses jumping into tourism, what are you doing from a policy perspective to protect those small businesses so that they thrive? Because there's so many that fail. Thank you.
The safeguarding of wetlands, that's the first one. The second question is around government guarantees. Are there any thresholds that are for government guarantees? What's the sector and what really is the thresholds for you to get a government guarantee? And I guess with the wetlands as well, I wanted to just have a segue in terms of the environmental issues pertaining to, I think, the miners. I think we need to start, looking after our environment, and we just wanted to find out what government is taking, concrete steps they're taking to actually, make our country sustainable.
Thank you very much. Vocational training centers is great for the youth. And as our education is now heritage-based education, which is promoting skills more than promotion of our intelligence and academic. People are talented differently, and President introduced heritage-based economy, because I'm sure as you are in these developed economies, you see that it's not really about being an A-level student that will make you a better person in life, but it's being about skilled. So now from ECD, which is I'm sure equivalent to, I'm not too sure what you call it here, but from the time that kids start to go to kindergarten, we are now promoting heritage-based education, finding talents for every individual in a class from that age, all the way to the high school, and then as they go, let's say, Form 4, or they are going to A-level. We know very well, all of us, from the time that we grew up, when you know A-level, O-level, went up my diploma and so forth. So basic would be O-level, and from there, whether we pass, now pass O-level, vocational training center. Through our Ministry of Youth. Very critical, because from there we are finding innovation about solar systems and what, they are so talented mechanic, and so gone are the days where I'm just admiring my little one here. Well, I think she's multi-talented because she's very intelligent, but I was shocked the way she is drawing. She's busy drawing the Zimbabwe logo. And she took it out as is, and I'm like, oh, kuna mai wacho nae mwanani chipo pamwe ndo zvake vabereki vane vari busy ita maths chete isusero wakawakwira maths. So vocational training center is that caters for those who are not academically excelling but talented in skills. So it's big now back home, and we'll get you in touch with the Ministry of Youth because it's at a broader spectrum when you are in their ministry. But with our ministry, yes, we want vocational training center for various things, even for artificial intelligence. Yeah.